Good morning. Well, just a little presentation more. As I was 18, I was the chairman of the monarchist youth movement in Portugal before the revolution. I became a member as such of the Causa Monarchica Central Committee, let's say, with people with the age around my grandfather's decease. So I was kind of the junior partner. And after the revolution, I was an MP by PPM, by the Monarchist Popular Party, which was not a leftist party at the time, at least on my concern. And then I became a member of parliament by other parties, always as a monarchist, and as such, I went into government of Cavaco Silva. Everybody knew that I was a monarchist. I still am, so I am a monarchist fighter all the time. So you have to look at me at that. 50 years of teaching in universities, mainly in the Lisbon University and foreign universities as well. I never read, but now I have to read because they gave me such a short time. Now, what is my provocation today? As a professor, you die as a professor. It's like other things. You die like a military office. You die, professor. So I always provoke my students. So I came here with a provocation. With such a short time, I thought, let's apply SWOT. The SWOT mechanism, the SWOT principle to monarchies today. Well, it's kind of ridiculous. It's not totally achieved, but nevertheless, I pray for your attention. So let's start with strengths. Monarchies are less expensive for the public treasury than republics. Imagine that. There are savings because of, now I'm going to make an understatement, early childhood education, you know what it means, no? And savings in tenure, and savings in as partial self-financing of monarchies. Monarchs bring, and royal families bring money into the country. How many tourists have visited the United Kingdom since I was born? Because of Queen Elizabeth II, their palaces, her husband, their children. How many? And how many have visited the Vatican, which is an elected monarchy? It's important not to lose this concept, because of the Pope. How many have followed the princely family of Monaco in their splendor years? And, on the other hand, who knows the president of Austria, or of Germany, or of Switzerland, or of Italy, or of Portugal, from the outside? How many postcards or souvenirs with their faces were sold? Zero. How many tourists came to meet them, even in distance? None. Monarchy brings money. National unity, and that's the second item, and the living symbol of continuity, another concept that we should take back. There would be no Commonwealth without Queen Elizabeth II. Spain would have had a coup d'etat if it weren't King Juan Carlos I. Bulgaria owes, I know it personally because I was with Bulgaria's dossier in parliament, owes very much of its entry into the European Union to the governmental sacrifice of King Simeon II as Prime Minister. How many countries in the world went into a major, that is a study issue. Please, young people. How many countries in the world went into a major crisis after the abolition of their monarchy? I'm not thinking only Nepal, but it's a good one. This topic alone gives enough material for a thesis in university. We should study that. D. In multinational and multilingual states like Canada or Spain, unity can only be achieved in a democracy by models that approach or extends federation or a confederation, and monarchy unites, therefore, internally much more than a republic does. A republic there creates problems. Let's step into weaknesses. I'm hurrying because they told me I had little time. Most monarchies are distancing themselves from their ancient obligations to the sacred, to religion, to the Almighty God. Catholic kingdoms such as France, Spain, Portugal, Belgium, Austria, whose queens could wear white as an exception at the Holy See, because they were la fille aimée de l'Église, because they were los reyes católicos, because they were suas majestades fidelísimas, and so on. Sometimes they seem to have forgotten that their first commitment is to God and to the Catholic religion. Could the Queen of Spain be agnostic and insist on not crossing herself at official church ceremony? Never. Now it happens. And whoever, I'm being polite, I'm not usually polite, by the way, and whoever succeeds the current sovereign, can they? They are. The non-reigning dynasties of Portugal, France, or Austria provide an example of better behavior here. Even the royal houses of Italy, even it's nice, to Sicilies and Brazil make an effort to uphold tradition on this field. The emperors of Japan, after being stripped of their religious status by the regime of General MacArthur, being polite again, quietly continue their mission of being an irreproachable example of national behavior and devotion. And that is why he is loved by the overwhelming majority of the Japanese people. Scandals involving the so-called royals concerning bad habits and transgressions, being polite again, have recently become a form of entertainment. One of the main reasons of this happening is the explosion of the invasive Cinderella marriages involving both men and women, and the unavoidable and inevitable unpreparedness for the common consorts to continuity, discretion, and seriousness beyond suspicion, inherent to the functions of royalty. See what is happening with relatives close to the reigning monarchs in Europe about scandals that have come to light. The Cinderella marriages also brought about the bourgeoisification of the European royal families. 3 consecutive generations of these systems transforms a prince of blood into a bourgeois with a title. And this is a disaster to monarchies on the run. Reigning kings and heads of dynasties have the right and the duty to serve the national interest as a moderating power, as a last resort, and as guardians of their people's traditions. Ours, I speak as a Portuguese, does it very well. let's jump into threats. Currently, 4 types of existential threats are emerging side by side that mark, in my opinion, the end of an era. I have a book with this precise title. I'm not making propaganda. I owe nothing about my book. I give my books away. They are displayed. I will tell you where. Namely, a huge financial and economical crisis, which is ongoing, serious civil war crisis all over. It's not only in the United Kingdom, all over. The expansion of a global armed conflict, and last but not least, geological and an astronomical crisis. Beware to that. I have around 200 videos on my YouTube channel with my name, and many of them explain these points of view. I have no time to go there. One possible outcome to resolve the chaos stemming from this crisis is an illiberal, militarized dictatorship based on the control of CBDC's currencies and the digital identity ongoing, reflected in the limitation of citizen freedoms and guarantees. It's not an if, it's a when. A sort of westernized Chinese model. Kings and queens become an obvious obstacle if they choose not to go with the flow, or even just in case. Finally, opportunities. The end of an era is not the end of the world. It's just the end of an era, like the end of the Roman Empire wasn't. Millions of people may die, yes, and much heritage be destroyed, yes, but humanity will prevail. And it is in this reconstruction of the world, embracing traditional and enduring values. I always call them innegotiable values. Some things are not for trade, like values, permanent values. We lost this concept. Like God, country, family, that monarchies may or will research. The promise of a new king of France, Henri V de la Croix, spoken in the extraordinary books since 1841, I believe, by the Marquis de la Franquerie, makes us yearn for a future of hope, reparation, and justice, in which monarchies, I hope, will once again have their central and exemplary role. I rest my case. Thank you.